Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna be doing part 2 on changing the gears on your axle, and today we're focusing on the front axle. If you guys want to check the previous video where we changed them on the rear one, you're welcome to go ahead and check that video out. But today we're focusing on the front axle since it involves a little bit more work and it's a little more complex. But hopefully this process helps you, to get to all of your upgrades: steering link, your bearings, your axle gears, your axle shafts, or your steering links. Hopefully this helps you out, guys. So let's begin. Okay guys, and let's get to it. The first two screws that we're gonna be removing is gonna be the two screws from your steering link. It will be this one and this other one. If you want to replace the whole steering for one of those upgraded aluminum, well, you're gonna have to remove those three screws. In my case, I'm just removing the two screws on the corners because I just want to get a little bit of clearance on the steering blocks. Okay, so we're gonna be removing the two screws from the steering link, and then we're gonna be removing these two screws from the block, which is the one on the top and on the bottom, and that's on both sides. Okay, so let me remove those screws and then I'll get back again. Okay guys, as you could see, I already removed the two screws from the steering link and the two screws on each side of the blocks. Well, as you could see, the steering block is already loose, so you could pretty much pull your shafts out. And don't forget, inside the shafts you're gonna have a bearing through the inside and another bearing through the outside. Okay, so we're gonna be pulling the two shafts out. The next step is gonna be on the links, and now for the links we're gonna have to remove these two screws from these upper links, and then from the bottom links we're gonna be removing the ones on the chassis. So let me remove those 4 screws from the steering links and then I'll come back again. Okay guys, I already removed the 4 screws from the links. Remember, for the first 2 links you're gonna be removing the screws from the axle and just pull the link up. And from the bottom links, remember that I told you to unscrew it from the chassis. Okay, so once you screw it from the chassis, this is what's gonna happen. You are gonna be able to twist the axle up. This is gonna give you clearance to remove the 4 screws from the axle cover. Okay, so now let's remove those 4 screws and we're gonna be able to get to our gears. Okay guys, as you can see, I already removed the 4 screws around the axle in order to remove the cover. And as you can see, the whole cover came with all the gears. And also you're gonna have to remove the screw from the drive shaft, and just once you remove it, just pull the drive shaft out and then press the gear down so it could fall. And I'll have the gear right here as well. Also, I read on some of the groups to use lithium grease, but actually the lithium grease, for some reason, it kind of dried. So please guys, don't use lithium, because it kind of looks like toothpaste and it dry very quick. So let me clean all the axle. Let me clean it. I'm gonna put some grease and then I'm gonna put the new gears. Okay, let me do that and then I'll come back. Okay guys, I'm back. I already cleaned the gear through the inside, because it had all the lithium grease all stick and dry. I already cleaned the whole axle, and as you can see, I already put the gear. It's gonna be the new Injora spiral gear. Don't forget the axle. It's gonna have 2 bearings on the axle itself. It's gonna have one on the outside, and then there's gonna be another one on the inside before the gear. Okay, once you put the gear, I want you to press it all the way, and once you get the little tip, I want you to put the drive shaft right away. Okay, so let me put it and then I'll come back. Okay guys, as you can see, I already put my drive shaft. I already put the screw on it, so the gear doesn't go anywhere. And also I already put the two bearings on the second gear. Okay, don't forget it has two bearings on it, and I have my cover ready to go. But before that, I'm gonna show you what type of grease I'm gonna be using. Give me a sec. And I got this at Harbor Freight. This is premium red grease, and this is a pretty common grease that is used on the automotives. So this might be an overkill, but I think it's better than the lithium grease. And as you can see, there's pretty much used for bearings on any automotive. So this should be enough for the gears on these little rigs. Okay, so let me put a little bit of grease on the gears and I'll come back. Okay guys, I already put a little scoop of grease. I'm gonna put now the second gear with the two bearings inside. And the reason that I told you to put the drive shaft after the first gear is for this reason. Once you put your second gear with grease, you're gonna be able to spin it, so the grease could start moving on the gears. Hopefully you could see it on the camera as I'm spinning the drive shaft. You know, all the gears are getting all the grease already inside. Okay guys, as you can see, I already closed the cover on the axle. I already put the 4 screws around. When doing these screws, please don't over tighten the screws, okay? If you over tighten the screws, you're gonna put a lot of pressure on your gears and it's gonna ride rougher. How does it feel? Well, actually, by just spinning the drive shaft, the gears feel pretty smooth. I think it's a must-do to use the red grease instead of the lithium. Actually, the gears feel like butter. So I think you guys need to do this step. It's a must-do. The next step, I'm gonna start putting everything back. Also, I got the extended axle shaft, and I'm gonna put some grease on the inside part so it could roll better around the axle. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of grease on this part too, and then I'm gonna put the extended axles. I already put the grease on the shafts and the bearings, and I already put the 2 screws on the steering blocks on both sides. So you guys could go ahead and start putting the 2 screws on your shafts. And after that, you're just gonna twist it. The first thing you're gonna do is put your drive shaft, connect your drive shaft, and then put your screw your 2 links from the chassis. Remember that was I told you to unscrew it from the chassis because it's gonna help you hold the drive shaft. So connect your drive shaft, put your 2 screws, okay? After that, you're just gonna bring down the other 2 screws along with your shocks, and that's gonna complete the suspension links. And the final step is just gonna be to put the 2 screws on the steering link, and that should be it, guys. Hopefully this video helped you out. Go ahead and get some grease for your gears. I'm gonna try to put that type of grease on the transmission gears. Maybe on the low gear it's gonna roll a little better. I'm gonna try it on another video, okay? So see you guys.